we can all have stuff going off in our own lives. We can all have our own burdens and struggles that we don't have the time that perhaps we should have to listen to other people. We can be distracted. We can then usually apologise to other people if we recognise that we were distracted. We can all accidentally gaslight somebody when somebody is telling us something they have lived through. We can turn around with good intentions, trying to lift them up by saying things such as, I'm sure it wasn't that bad, to try and get them to look on the positive side. People can unintentionally not listen to another person. People can unintentionally gaslight another person. However, it's a one-off. They don't mean it. It's not a regular pattern of behaviour. Most of the time you can go to them. When it comes to narcissistic people, they don't listen to you because they feel contempt towards you. Therefore, when you are speaking to them, they are going to make you feel like you are beneath them. They don't value you. They don't value your opinion, especially if it doesn't match their own. They don't value your ideas unless they can steal them. They don't value your experiences unless they can steal them. So by talking to a narcissistic person, they devalue you. And the more you talk to them, the more devalued and the more worthless, the more stupid that you're going to end up feeling. We can all be naive in life. However, a narcissist is going to take our naiveties and make us feel ashamed of being naive. We don't know what we don't know until we've learnt about it. Those who are confident will help you. Those who are arrogant will make you feel worse. Narcissists get you to a point where you feel afraid to approach them about anything for fear of reactions that you've received from them in the past. Whether that's just shutting you down, whether that's them making you feel daft, whether that's them raging out on you, whether that's them taking your idea and using it as their own. And it often leaves you with a lot of bitterness and resentment, especially when they take a credit for your ideas after dismissing your ideas. But it gets you to the point where you might feel unsafe speaking to them. You lose your voice, you lose your opinions. And not only to the narcissist, you can also lose your voice and your opinions towards other people to have a conversation with other people for fear of being ashamed. You can have a conversation with somebody and come home and overanalyze that conversation due to the experience you've had with a narcissistic person in the past, worrying what people are going to think of you due to being devalued about your thoughts in the past. No longer being able to be yourself and no longer being able to stand up for yourself. Now, we do have to be careful who we share our opinions with. A narcissistic person is going to value the opinion of a stranger over the opinions of their own family, even if those opinions are the same. We do have to be careful who we share our opinions with, because some people are not going to understand them. Some people are going to be hurt by them. However, we as people also have to learn not to be offended by other people's opinions, especially if those other people don't have the facts. If people don't have the facts and they have the ignorance about a subject and they're not willing to learn about a subject, they're just willing to be opinionated, then they are arrogant people whose opinions do not matter. That's on them. We shouldn't be offended by them because they're not going to get it. And the more we explain ourselves to them, the less they're going to listen because they're ignorant and arrogant. You can have people who are naive to a situation and may voice their opinion, and a confident person can then explain more about the situation, and those who are naive will take on board the explanation and learn why their opinion may or may not offend another person. Now, we're all human, so one person's opinion is never going to please everybody in the world, because we do have different opinions. We have lived different life experiences. We don't have the knowledge of all the history that's gone off in the world. We know more about the things that have happened to us than what have happened to other people. Now, when it comes to ideas, we are all capable of having ideas, which is why we live in the world that we live in. All the things we have are from people's ideas that other people have dismissed and discredited over the years. However, some people have had a vision to make things a reality, and they've not listened to other people's opinions, other people's ideas. However, when you tell a narcissistic person about your idea, they will dismiss it, they will discredit it, they will sabotage it, and then 5 months down the line, they'll come up with it as though it was their own idea. And they've sort of got blinkers on. They don't recognise that you are the one that approached them with that idea in the first place, because to them, they came up with it. They will steal your ideas, and those who are willing to steal your ideas are not the kinds of people you want to be sharing your ideas with. You can speak to somebody who dismisses them because they don't have the same vision as you. Just go and show them how the idea works, and then go and show them twice if they're a narcissistic person. Now, don't show a narcissistic person twice. They get very envious and they will seek to sabotage it and destroy it for you. However, when you share an idea with a non-narcissistic person that just can't see the vision that you can see, and they are dismissive, most of the time they're not doing it negatively, they're doing it because they just can't see it, and they don't want to see you suffer, they don't want to see you fail. So just go and do it, because we all make mistakes in life. A narcissistic person, when you have an idea, follow through with that idea and that idea fails the first time, a narcissistic person is going to turn around and say, I told you you couldn't do that. Whereas somebody who is supportive of you might perhaps say, well, at least you tried. Why don't you try again? Why don't you take some time and then try a different approach? There are people who are going to be supportive of you and your ideas, and then there are people who are going to sabotage you and your ideas. Sharing your good news with people. Sharing your good news with people is actually one way to filter out those who you want to share good news with and those who you don't want to share good news with, because those who are envious of you, when you share your good news with them, they're going to find a way to discredit your good news or make it all about them, or how they've done something better, or how you wouldn't have been able to do this without them. They are going to accuse you of being boastful, even though they're just confiding in one person. Because when something good happens, people do like to share the good news within life. And some people do it in a boastful manner. Narcissistic people boast about it, and that's usually when they've taken the credit for somebody else's good news. So sharing your good news, if you can share your good news and someone is going to be supportive of you, be there for you, be happy for you, be pleased for you, they are the kind of people you want in your life. Somebody who's going to be envious of you, resentful towards you, bitter towards you, they're the kinds of people you want to avoid in your life. Sharing your bad news. Again, when sharing your bad news with people, it's one way to filter out those that you want in your life and those that you don't want in your life. When you share your bad news and someone tries to be supportive, tries to be helpful, now they might say, oh, do you think you're overreacting? And when you turn around and say, no, I don't, they're going to be, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. And they'll be willing to listen to you, offer you helpful advice. Narcissistic people will often turn it on to how they've been through something far worse than you. They've suffered far more than you. What about when they are going to turn the conversation on to themselves, or they're going to turn around and say, get over it. It's not that bad. You're overreacting. But then they're going to shut the conversation down. They're not going to be interested in helping you and supporting you. They want to dismiss you. We can all be ignorant, we can all be naive, we can all be foolish, we can all be stupid, we can all make mistakes, we can all be wrong. However, we do have to say what we think, and we have to say what we think carefully, depending on who we are speaking to. If you are speaking about a subject that you know is going to offend a person, then perhaps not speak about that subject to that person, especially if it's something that you have never experienced within your life. If you've not experienced it, it's just your opinion about it. Those who have experienced it have more knowledge than those who just have an opinion about it. So we do have to be careful about what we say and who we say it to. Now, if you don't say it to somebody and somebody just picks up on something that you've said and twists it to their own narrative, that's on them, especially if they don't know you. Again, if we are ignorant or naive about something and we speak to somebody who is confident, they are going to have the patience to explain it to us and have the ability to strike up a two-way conversation to gain the knowledge and try and gain the understanding. At least if you can't relate from that other person's point of view, gain the understanding of that other person's point of view. When you are naive or ignorant about something and you speak to an arrogant person and it doesn't match how they want you to view the world, it doesn't match their opinion on the world, they are going to humiliate you, they are going to blame you, they are going to shame you, they are going to crush you any way they can to make you feel bad, to make out that everybody else is in the wrong, rather than recognizing that perhaps that doesn't work for that group of people. However, it works for that group of people. With arrogant people, with narcissistic people, it's a case of you must all believe me. So just how do you handle those who will not listen to you? You stop talking. Again, you have to be careful when it comes to stopping talking to narcissistic people, because they're going to take this as criticism and they might smear your name to try and ruin your reputation, to try and get one over you. It's very difficult to stop talking to people because we can feel like we're being rude. Narcissistic people don't feel like they're being rude when they're giving people the silent treatment. They believe that the other person deserved it. You're not doing it to be rude. You're doing it to recognise that the people I want to talk to are the people that are going to be there for me as I would be there for them. The people that I don't want to talk to are people that are going to hurt me as I would not hurt them. Stop talking. Start observing their behaviour. Start watching how they behave, because narcissistic people in general, when you watch their behaviour, they do tell on themselves. Don't take people's responses to you personally, because they haven't always lived the same experience as you. So some people just don't get it, and other people are just doing it to be cruel. We can't for sure say what someone else's intentions are. We can't for sure say they've not experienced it, so they just don't get it. They're just trying to be cruel. Those who are willing to try and see your point of view probably just haven't experienced it. Those who are willing to try and humiliate and mock you are trying to pull you down to feel better about themselves. There is no solution talking to a narcissistic person. We can think of so many different ways to approach a conversation with them. We can think of picking the best opportunity, the right time to speak to them about something. And if it's not about them, they're not interested unless they can use it against you. So if you're telling them something that later down the line they can use it against you, they will listen to you, but only so they can use it against you. You can tell a narcissistic person an experience that you have lived, and then a few weeks later you can be out with a bunch of friends or a bunch of family, and the narcissistic person will be telling those people about your experience like it happened to the narcissist, as though it's the narcissist's experience. You can be stood there right there in front of them, and they just do not remember that you're the one that told them about that. They're too wrapped up in gaining the praise or the attention or whatever it is from a big room of people about something you told them in the strictest of confidence. Therefore, the other people don't know that it happened to you and believe it happened to the narcissist. No matter how much you try and explain your truth to a narcissist, they are just going to drain you. So those who dismiss your opinions or then take your opinions on as their own, those who discredit your ideas or then steal your ideas, those who sabotage your good news, those who gloat about your bad news, are the people you need to just stop talking to. Those who are committed to misunderstanding you, you need to stop talking to those people. Those who value your opinion, even if it doesn't match theirs. Those who value your ideas, even if they think they might be a bit wacky, but still value them. Those who are pleased with your good news. Those who try to help you through your bad news. Those are the kinds of people that are going to be supportive of you. Those are the kinds of people to go and talk to. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.